we have a problem of gender-based violence.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, or rather in my perspective, this has been happening since I could remember.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, you know, if you could sit down, could you identify anything that you could say, these are part, or these are the root causes of this problem?
Yeah, sure. That's a tough one. Gender-based violence is definitely a thing, a big thing, that cannot be ignored. It's a problem, and I guess the type of technology that we have at the moment, it makes it more visible. It's magnifying the problem. So, you know, when you say magnifying, it's as if it's small, it's making it big. No, the problem is big. It's just making it brings it closer. Yeah, it's bringing it closer to us to see that it's there. The root causes of it really, I think, are very much entrenched in a society that's patriarchal. It's patriarchy. It's a toxic masculinity. We know amongst our friends and us that when we are out there, what we say about women, or when we've had a few drinks, how we interact with women. We think we have the right to put our hands on ladies when we're out there. So it's a culture that's so deeply entrenched, and I have no clue where we should start really with facing it. But one way is to have conversations such as this one, is to open the dialogue, the discussion, the debate, and constantly trying to find solutions.
Okay, so I had the other perspective. I don't know what you're going to say about it. I know it's like, now we're on set and you have to think about it.
Sure.
So I was thinking that one of the problems is the culture of objectifying women.
Yeah.
And when I say objectifying women, I'm putting everybody in it.
For sure.
So the first was through the practice of lobola, you know, where women would get into marriage and then cannot come back because
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now she's like an object that was used to make a transaction.
Yeah.
You know, and also now coming to also women again, we have the culture of, can you maintain me? So putting that into consideration, now I feel like they get presented as something that should be earned. You know, it's like you're buying a car and you know, so I don't know, I'm not promoting it, but now gents start thinking, oh, but I bought you beers, I did this, I did, why can't you deliver?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, what does that make sense to you?
No, of course, I completely get it. And it's not even difficult to get because it is that ubiquitous. You find it everywhere. But with that said, this gender-based violence thing, obviously it's not a South African thing, it's not a Carltonville thing. However, South Africans, we are the rape capital of the world.
Well,
South Africa.
Okay, wow, that I didn't know.
Yeah, we are the rape capital of the whole world. And we are a mere 60 million people. There are countries with so many more. So there's definitely a problem in South Africa. And it probably has its roots in the apartheid system. The fabric of our society was really distracted by apartheid. And when we ushered the new dispensation of freedom, there's obviously things that were overlooked, or we didn't even realize just how deep the crack was. Because the dowry system, lobola, it's not unique to us. It's there in other cultures. So we can't use that as an excuse, or we can't use that as a reason why we do something. What we should be doing is saying they are doing the same thing. By the same thing now I'm talking about paying off a bride or things of that nature. And we are doing it. why is it that we feel entitled to harm someone else because your expectations are not met, or because you feel your manhood has been challenged in one way or the other. So I really don't have an answer to the GBV question, but I think it should be a conversation that we talk about. It should be something, when we said Carltonville culture, we would need to have activists that go out there to inform people. Here in the shop, I don't know, here on the table we actually do have a little booklet. Siriso, if you can just find it for us, it's black. It should say something about gender-based violence. It's things like that. Actively putting these things out there. Yeah.
Ah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's being able to have things like this just handy. That are going to force you to read gender-based violence is a national crisis. It affects every South African. It destroys lives. It devastates families and threatens the safety of our loved ones. And the thing is, we don't have these conversations. You don't find things like this in places that we go to. And people are very, they're not very open to discuss such things. Homosexuality, the way in which we deal with homosexuality, it's still a problem.
Yeah.
Because homosexuality now becomes a thing to deal with, when it shouldn't be a thing to deal with. The same way that we don't have to deal with your straightness. No one is dealing with being straight. So we should equally not have a problem with dealing with homosexuality, but we do have that problem. So psychologists really need to come out there and find ways or engage with us in a way that is going to make sure that we get rid of these backward principles.
That's a problem.
Yeah.